Hi, everybody. This is Desiree from HomWork and An Empowered Woman, and today we have a very exciting conversation with Shaune B. Arnold, attorney Shaune B. Arnold, and she's going to share with us the pitfalls as well as the things to stay the things to engage with all the things to stay away with short-term rentals. We refer to it as short-term rentals, nice or nightmare. I also want to just give you a brief, if you're new to HomWork, give you a brief introduction about what we are. We are where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. We're one of the co-working, co-sharing, co-living homes for women in business. So you can live there full time, part time, or as a drop in. We have properties all over the world, and just think of like Airbnb meets WeWork for women in business. So I'll share more with you about that later. But meanwhile, welcome, Shaune. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm feeling empowered. How are you
You're
today,
feeling
Desiree?
empowered. You're feeling empowered, yes. So I know we have a short
Excellent.
period of time that you with us, so you have a lot to cover. But what I find this is important to us because as part of this homework proposition is that we have not only have our signature properties that women can stay at full time, long term, short term, or as a drop in, but also host properties. And this is important for our hosts because a lot of them, they have a beautiful space, they know about the pictures, but they don't really know about the legalities. And some people say that short term rentals is the best thing that's happened to them, and some people say that's been a nightmare because they don't know how to protect themselves. So I really want to thank you for sharing this information not only with us but for our potential hosts and everybody out there so that we can avoid the nightmares. So where do we start?
Well, the very first thing you need to understand is this is something that is not going to go away. Our economy has turned into a largely gig economy, and a lot of people are doing 2 and 3 and 4 different things to have multiple streams of income in order to not be in the position that they were in back in 2008 when everything froze up and they lost everything. And so this is a very viable option for people who own property. Now, in California, we have Proposition 10, which is on the ballot, which would create some downward pressure on rental amounts. And that's a conversation for another day because we don't even know if Prop 10 will pass yet. So let's just focus on the short-term rental. Let's say you wake up one day and you're looking at your view and you decide, wow, I really would love to share this with people and make some money at the same time. So what do? Well, the first thing you do is your research. There are a number of organizations out there like HomWork that will allow you to list your property and to bring those short-term rentals on. So the first thing that I would suggest that you do is do your research at the website, at the listing website. The pictures are very beautiful and very distracting, and they create an experience for you that takes you from one to the other in terms of what they want you to see. But there are other things that you need to be aware of. And so what I would suggest you do is go where no homeowner has gone before, to the user terms and conditions, and take a look at their contracts. Take a look at what they expect of you as a homeowner and what they are willing to do for you in the event that something goes wrong in your short-term rental agreement. It's important to understand that when you're dealing with an internet brokerage type of service, they tend to think of themselves as a go-between. They do not want to step into the position of having any liability to you or to your guests. So they will do everything they can to put the entire burden of responsibility and liability onto the homeowner and onto the guest. So you need to go look at those terms and conditions to see what their standards are and to see what their expectations are, so you know if you even want to be bothered with them. You compare and contrast, build yourself a spreadsheet, and look at all the pros and cons, and then pick the one that you like the best. it's important to think about the people that will be coming into your home as guests. Because again, most people would think that internet service is vetting these people for me. And they may, to a certain extent, give you a certain amount of assurance that you at least know who's coming in because they have an application from them, they have credit card information from them. So much like an Uber service, you know who's getting into your car. It's not just some stranger off the street. So there is some paperwork that precedes this person coming into your home. But I would say that that's not enough. You should build your own questionnaire so that you are aware of who this person is. Find out a little bit of something about their personality. Find out why they're coming to your home. Do they have something to go back to? Are they coming out here thinking they might move to this place because you might have some holdover issues? Find out, are they planning on bringing in guests? Are they planning on doing any events while they're in your home? Why are they coming, and what are they going to do while they are there? You will not get to meet them in person. It is extremely important for you to know that you cannot discriminate on the basis of race and gender, because that will get you into a lot of trouble. So there's a fine line that you're traveling here between informed consent that someone is coming into your home and using it as a way to say, oh no, you are an other and I don't want you in my home. That's very different, and you can wind up in a lawsuit that way. So be very careful of that. Make sure that you do get their credit card information, their work address, their home address, as much personal information as you can get. I would even ask for references, 3 personal references, so that, you know, they're not just coming out of the blue and then going into the blue. If you should have some damages or something like that, you need to be able to reach out and grab this person. So now that this person has come to your home, they've checked in with you, you have to have a process for that. What is expected of you while they're in your home? It depends on what you offer. You may offer breakfast or lunch. You may offer laundry and other essential amenities. You just have to be very clear about what you're willing to offer and what you're not willing to offer. For example, I heard of a woman who had a short-term rental and she allowed the person to get mail at her home. And then a bunch of mail started coming and it created a part-time job for this homeowner. First of all, you don't want that kind of responsibility where you're now working as somebody's assistant. Secondly, if someone gets a utility bill, a phone bill, any kind of mail coming to your home in their name, you've just got yourself a tenant that you're going to have to get rid of with an unlawful detainer action. Do not accept any mail for anybody while they're in your home. So you want to think about toilet paper, soap, and linen, and sheets, and towels, and pillowcases, and all of those wonderful things. And you do want to be responsive to the people that come. So anticipate their needs, anticipate what you are willing to give them, and then stock up. Have those extra things on hand so that you're not running out in the middle of the night trying to be responsive to your guests. Because remember, as much as you are rating them, they are going to be rating you. So these things, although they're very small, they're very, very important. You do not want somebody to run out of TP because they will tell 30 people. If you've got TP stacked 29 deep under the counter, they won't tell anybody. Just be aware of that. And in the age of internet reputation trashing, you need to be extremely aware of that, because you cannot remove those negative comments about you from the internet. All you can do is create new content to push it down. That's the best you can do. So be aware of the communications that you're having out in the marketplace, and be aware that when they say the guest is always right, to a certain extent, that really kind of has to be the case, because they can destroy you. They can destroy your reputation, and you will never see them again. So be very, very aware of what your communication is and what your interaction is while people are in your home, because you want to maintain a really good overall rating with whatever the listing service is. So let's turn our attention to troubleshooting in the event that something goes wrong. I told you earlier to go to the user terms and conditions, because you really want to know how much that listing service is going to be on your side in the event that something goes wrong. What are they willing to do for you? What insurance do they have? More importantly, what insurance do you have? I know you have homeowners insurance, but you need more than that. You need to consider commercial general liability insurance as well, so that if somebody falls down that beautiful flight of stairs that I see behind Desiree, you're covered. Not only are you covered from a homeowner's perspective, but you're covered from a commercial perspective, because your homeowner's insurance is going to want to disavow that person falling down the stairs. So be extremely aware of what they are going to do for you. And let's talk about some of those tenancy problems and what might go wrong. I'm keeping an eye on my time if you see me looking down. I've got some notes. I wanted to make sure to give you everything, and I kind of have a hard stop because I've got conference calls today. So certain tenancy issues. When I was in college, I subleased my apartment every single summer in San Francisco, well, Oakland. I went to law school in San Francisco, and I lived on Lake Merritt in Oakland. And I subleased my apartment every summer and came home to Los Angeles to work for the summer. And so there were certain things that I did with respect to those tenants that put me in the catbird seat and left me extremely satisfied at the end of every rental season. And very simply, it was, you break it, you bought it. I gave my guests an inventory list. It told them how many glasses are in the cupboard, how many forks, spoons, and knives. Everything in the apartment, everything on the walls was inventoried. I told them how many boxes were stacked in the closet, and those boxes better be sealed shut in the way they were sealed shut when I left, or I've got your credit card information, I will be charging you some money. So front stack all of those tough conversations. A lot of people don't like to have the hard conversations with respect to, this is mine and I want you to safeguard it, and what happens if you break it. You can have that entire conversation in writing before they ever come to your home. So make sure that you get their credit card information, make sure that you get a sizable refundable deposit. If they have a pet, get a pet deposit. If they have children, you might want to consider a larger deposit for multiple people. You don't want to discriminate against children. But if you have a group of people coming into your home, they're going to cause a bigger mess than one person coming into your home. So be aware of that. Be aware of drinking and drugs. And how do you feel about that? If you do not want alcohol-laden parties on your property or drug-induced trips down.
Oh, your sound just got muffled. Here we go. Try again.
Hit that button. There we go. That ding ding won't. I apologize.
We missed them. Okay.
Be aware of drinking and drugs. be aware that the people you invite into your home just might invite their guests into your home. What are your rules about that? You might be okay with that, especially if you have 4 or 5 bedrooms, but you need to be aware before they get there what's going to be happening so that you have written policies in place and you're not surprised. Let's talk about the not in my backyard or not next to my house neighbor. What do? Well, every time I have a party, I go next door and I knock on the door and I tell them, I'm getting ready to have a party. Come on over and get you some barbecue. If you have an open house, invite your neighbors to the open house. If you are renting your home out to strangers, let your neighbors know. You don't have to tell them all of your business, but it will prevent them from calling the police on your guests when they see them coming and going from your home and they know they don't belong there. So you can avoid a lot of problems. We've all seen those viral videos going on with people calling police on Airbnb folks who were just trying to leave. They were putting their bags in the car and the neighbor waved and the guest didn't wave back, and that ticked the neighbor off and they called. So just be aware that 2 egos cannot occupy the same space at the same time. So have that conversation with your neighbors, invite them over for some coffee, tea, and a light conversation about what's going on so that they are at least feeling like they're in the know. And the last conversation that I want to have with you today is about holdover tenants. What happens when the time to leave comes and they don't leave? Well, again, you have that conversation before they ever get there. And in your lease agreement, you have a holdover tenancy rate, which is wildly more expensive than the rate they were paying you on the day they arrived. And after checkout time, that's when your holdover rate starts to kick in. You can have an hourly rate for that first day and then a daily rate for every rate after that. Make sure you have a provision in there such that if you have to sue them, you will hold them responsible for all of the costs, including attorney's fees, because if you don't put it in the contract, at least in California, you will not be able to collect attorney's fees. So they need to sign off on that on the lease agreement. Now, I know that I went really, really quickly through all of these issues, and if you are able to join us tomorrow night, we will go much more slowly and you will have an opportunity to ask me as many questions as you like. Otherwise, may I give them my contact information, Desi?
Yes, you may, please.
You can email me at arnold@faLawyers.com. That's FinnyArnoldLawyers.com. Or you can call me directly, 213-718-3468. Thank you, Desi.
Repeat that again, because you got a little blurry. Your phone number at least.
sarnold@FALawyers.com, 213-718-3468. I am attorney Shaune B. Arnold.
Wow, thank you. So now a couple of different things that do you have a few more minutes left? Yes?
I have 1 minute.
1 minute. Uno momento. Yeah, I think that one thing I want to be able to share with everyone is the fact that there are a lot of little details, and it may sound overwhelming initially to be able to set it up. Like any business, you get something for nothing. So if it's worth it to you, people have really been able to generate a lot of extra cash and extra income, as well as not just the money, but also the people that you meet. I've met some wonderful people, the people that I've been able to host from all over the world. So it's a great opportunity to be able to connect, meet people, and to enjoy their lifestyles as well as yours. But set it up, and if you don't know what you're doing, then contact somebody like yourself to look at whatever issues they may have. Because some people have a very expensive art, they may have very expensive, there's a lot of details. Once it's set up, then it's good to go. And then utilize one of the biggest things I want to make sure that everyone point out that they do need to have their own insurance. Because even if it's one of the other carriers, one of the other channels that say that you're insured, they usually kick in after your insurance is contacted. It's like a car rental. They will kick in after you've reached yours. So if you don't not covered, you don't get that. So don't be, so really take heed to your advice as far as reading the details or just calling and finding out for sure. But there's a lot of other details that we're going to be sharing tomorrow evening, little things about how to keep them from stealing your things out of your house and all the different things, different things that are important, as well as for them having a great time and you being able to manage it remotely or in the home. So thank you, Shaune, for sharing this time with us today. And we'll see you tomorrow evening. And feel free to join us tomorrow evening. It's complimentary at 6:30. If you need more information, contact me, Desiree at HomWork. Desiree at HomWork.com. HomWork. No E. That's HomWork. And thanks again. And meanwhile, live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. See you soon.
That's Howard.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Is it still going? Yes. So what are your comments? If it's still going, then let's just talk about what is it still going? Can you see? I can't see. You can't see?